If you've been scrolling through endless coffee maker options, comparing specs, reading a handful of 5-star headlines, and still feel stuck on whether any of them actually fit your kitchen or office, this review is here to cut through the noise. I've spent the last few weeks testing a few different brewers, reading what commercial users are saying, and even talking to a couple of small business owners who rely on a steady cup to keep their teams humming. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Bunn 53100.0100 dual-volt single-auto infusion coffee brewer is the kind of machine that promises professional-grade coffee without needing a barista on staff. At first glance, it looks like a sleek stainless steel unit you might spot in a CAF, but the real question is whether that promise translates into everyday reliability for a home office, a small break room, or a boutique shop. The biggest hesitation people have is the dual-volt label. Does it mean you need a special outlet? And will that add hidden costs? And because it's a single-serve auto-infusion model, some wonder if the brewing process is actually any better than a standard drip maker for the price tag. Let's start with the power situation. The dual-volt designation means the brewer can be plugged into either one 10-volt or two 20-volt outlets, which is handy if you move between countries or have a mixed-voltage workspace. In practice, I tested it on a standard US 110-volt kitchen circuit, and the machine heated up without tripping the breaker. The auto-infusion feature, essentially a brief pause after the water reaches the coffee grounds to let the flavors bloom before the full pour, is the part that actually makes a difference in taste. In a side-by-side taste test with my old drip coffee maker, the Bunn's cup felt richer, with a smoother body that didn't have the typical over-extracted bite you sometimes get when water rushes through too fast. Now, who should really consider this brewer? If you're a remote worker who drinks 3 to 4 cups a day and wants a reliable, no-fuss machine that can churn out consistent coffee in under 5 minutes, the Bunn fits nicely. It's also a solid pick for a small office break room where you have a handful of coworkers rotating through the kitchen. The single auto infusion system means you don't need to monitor each brew, and the stainless steel construction holds up against the occasional bump or spill. For boutique cafes that want a secondary brewing station for quick orders, the dual-volt flexibility can be a lifesaver when the main espresso line is busy. On the flip side, if you're a serious espresso aficionado looking for precise temperature control, or if you run a high-volume commercial kitchen that needs to brew a full carafe every 10 minutes, this isn't the right tool. The Bunn is designed around a single cup or small pot output, so you'll quickly hit a bottleneck during a morning rush. Also, if you live in a rental where you can install a dedicated 220-volt line, you'll be fine using the 110-volt setting, but you won't get the fastest heat-up time the unit can offer. That's a trade-off many first-time buyers overlook until they see the warm-up delay of about 2 minutes on a standard wall socket. Let's talk about the practical strengths that stood out during my trial. First, the auto-infusion cycle is truly automatic. You just load the filter basket, add your ground coffee, press the brew button, and the machine handles the rest. There's no extra knob to turn or timer to set, which eliminates the guesswork that often leads to under- or overbrewed coffee. Second, the stainless steel body isn't just for looks. It stays cooler to the touch than the plastic housings you see on many mid-range brewers, which reduces the risk of accidental burns in a busy kitchen. Third, the drip tray is generously sized, catching any stray drips without overflowing. A small but appreciated detail when you're juggling mugs and paperwork. No product is without its quirks, and the Bunn has a few that matter in daily use. The water reservoir is somewhat shallow, holding just enough for about 6 cups before you need to refill. If you're used to machines that can sit on a full carafe for an hour, you'll find yourself topping up more frequently. Not a deal breaker, but worth noting for a high-traffic environment. The brew button can feel a little stiff after a few weeks of heavy use. It's not broken, but the tactile feedback isn't as crisp as some premium models. Finally, the price point lands in the mid-range commercial bracket, which means you're paying a premium for the Bunn brand reputation and the dual-volt capability, even if you never intend to switch voltages. From a value-for-money perspective, the brewer shines when you measure what you actually need. Consistent, decent-tasting coffee without the hassle of manual brewing steps, plus the durability of a stainless steel chassis that can survive a few bumps in a shared space. The 4.2-star rating from a small sample of 13 reviewers suggests that most owners are satisfied, But the limited review pool also hints at a product that isn't widely